And now for a bedtime story.
In the beginning of the movie, we see two little ducklings who, despite being warned by their parents, leave their pond and end up getting stuck in a dangerous situation. Their father, Mac, always tells them to stay within the safety of their pond, but the ducklings are curious and adventurous. Mac's wife, Pam, often scolds him for telling the kids such frightening stories, saying that these warnings only make the kids more eager to explore. The ducklings are named Dex and Gwen, and together with their parents, they make a loving family. They live in a small pond, isolated from the world, with everything they need close by. However, they don't have many friends and have never ventured far from home because Mac is overly cautious and afraid of what might happen if they leave their safe environment. He's always concerned that if they migrate or explore, they'll face unknown dangers. One day, a group of migratory birds arrives at their pond to rest. Pam is excited and wants to interact with them, but Mac is hesitant. Meanwhile, Dex and Gwen eagerly approach the newcomers, where Dex meets a beautiful young duck and starts chatting with her. However, Gwen's playful behavior embarrasses Dex, leading him to scold her. Mac and Pam eventually join the group, and the group's leader invites them to migrate with them. However, Mac refuses, saying they have everything they need at home and don't need to leave. The other birds find Mac's attitude strange and soon fly away. This leaves Pam frustrated, as she believes that as birds, it's natural for them to migrate and explore the world. She tells Mac that she can't stay in one place forever and wants to teach their children about the world. But Mac remains stubborn, focused on making their home as safe as possible. Later that night, Mac visits his Uncle Dan, who shares similar fears about leaving familiar surroundings. Uncle Dan advises Mac against migrating, saying that staying put is the best way to avoid danger. However, this conversation makes Mac realize that perhaps they should try migrating after all. He returns home and surprises his family by announcing that they're going on an adventure to a new place, Jamaica. The family is excited, including Uncle Dan, who is eventually convinced,
"Pretty please."
I can't refuse her.
They check their wings and set off into the sky. But soon after starting their journey, they realize they've gone the wrong way and a storm is approaching. They decide to take shelter in an old house where they meet a duck named Aaron, who offers them a place to stay for the night. As they settle in, Mac and his family consider sneaking out, but Aaron warns them that hunters are lurking outside, waiting to catch any bird that dares to leave. Mac is still determined to keep moving, and despite Aaron's warnings, he prepares his family to escape. Just as they're about to leave, at the same time, a fish tries to eat Dex and Gwen, but Aaron saves them, proving that she was truly trying to help. Mac and Pam realize Aaron was right about the dangers and decide to trust her. The next morning, Aaron cheerfully bids them farewell, and the family resumes their journey. As they fly, Mac remains anxious about the risks, but the family continues to have fun together. Eventually, they arrive in a bustling city, a completely unfamiliar environment with tall buildings, busy streets, and crowds of people. While exploring the city, the family gets separated, and Uncle Dan finds himself stuck in a pile of trash, eyeing a sandwich that belongs to some pigeons. Not wanting to share, Uncle Dan tried to keep the sandwich to himself, but this led to all the pigeons ganging up and beating him badly. Hearing the commotion, Mac and his family rushed over. Mac angrily insulted the pigeons, calling them dirty, smelly, and unworthy. This deeply offended the pigeon leader, who emerged from a small packet. He was a tiny, 1-foot-tall pigeon named Chum. He confronted Mac, asking, "What did you say?" The situation quickly escalated, with all the pigeons pointing fingers at Mac. But Pam, with her calm and friendly demeanor, stepped in and defused the tension. She explained that Mac didn't mean it and suggested that they could simply split the sandwich in half. Chum and his group agreed, and they all became friends. Chum then expressed that it really hurts when someone calls pigeons ugly. Pam took this opportunity to tell Chum that their family had set out for migration but got lost along the way. Chum offered to help, saying he had a friend from Jamaica who could guide them. Unfortunately, Chum was not much help himself since he'd been stuck in traffic several times. That night, they all reached Chum's friend's house, a parrot named Delroy. Delroy was originally from Jamaica and had helped many others in the past. When Mac's family told Delroy they needed to get to Jamaica, Delroy became emotional, remembering his childhood there. He shared that his life was ruined when a chef captured him and kept him locked in a cage for many years. Delroy explained that he could never leave because the chef always kept the key to his cage in his pocket. Mac decided they needed to help Delroy escape, so he and Pam devised a plan to steal the key. The next day, they snuck into the kitchen, where they saw the mean chef, an unpleasant man. While sneaking around, they realized that Pam had also joined in to help. The key was right in front of them. As Pam moved forward, Mac held on to her, but in the confusion, Mac accidentally knocked over a fire extinguisher, alerting the chef. The chef became furious, and Mac and Pam tried to escape but got caught in the middle of a crowd of people dancing. To blend in, they started dancing along, eventually making their way out. However, the chef was still hot on their trail. Just as the chef cornered them, Chum managed to close a door, trapping the chef inside. While Mac was trying to open the door in a hurry, Uncle Dan accidentally pushed him from behind, causing the key to get stuck in Mac's throat. As the chef burst into the room, all the ducks stood in a single line, trying to hide. But within moments, they were discovered. A chaotic fight ensued, during which the key was finally dislodged from Mac's throat. Delroy quickly grabbed it, opened his cage, and flew straight into the air, free at last. After all those years, Delroy was finally able to breathe freely and soar in the sky. He expressed deep gratitude to Mac's family, saying how thankful he was to them for helping him return home and reconnect with his roots. Mac's family, in turn, thanked Chum, acknowledging that without him, they would never have met Delroy. As they continued flying together, little Gwen suddenly needed to use the washroom. Her mom reminded her that as birds, they could do it in the air, but Gwen insisted on landing. Upon touching down, Gwen screamed loudly, startling everyone. It turned out that they had landed near a yoga center for ducks, a place where white ducks were practicing yoga and preparing for their day. Due to Uncle Dan's loud voice, the attention of all the ducks shifted to Mac's family. The yoga ducks invited Mac's family to join them, saying, "Come and experience our spa." When the Mac family saw the place, they were amazed. It was like paradise for ducks, complete with a water park, a buffet, and every luxury a duck could want. The kids begged to stay for the day, and although Mac was initially hesitant about whether it was safe, he eventually agreed, and the family started having a great time. While everyone was enjoying themselves, Dex noticed something suspicious, smoke rising in the distance. Climbing higher to get a better view, he saw a truck belonging to the evil chef they had encountered earlier. At that moment, Dex also saw the chef arriving and striking a deal with the owners to purchase all the ducks at the yoga center. The owner, pretending to be friendly, told all the ducks that they would be going on a picnic and urged them to quickly get into the truck. Dex tried to warn the ducks, telling them not to go because the chef was planning to kill and eat them, but the ducks, led by Gogo, didn't believe him. Despite Dex's warnings, the ducks boarded the truck. Max soon arrived and asked what was happening, so Dex explained that the chef was back and planning something terrible. Mac quickly urged everyone to get out of the truck and fly away, but a debate broke out between Mac and Gogo. While they argued, Dex took it upon himself to warn the other ducks, but the chef suddenly appeared and grabbed Dex. In his struggle to break free, Dex's wings were injured, causing them to break. Seeing this, the other ducks finally understood that Dex had been right, and they all attacked the chef together, forcing him to retreat. They then flew away, with Dex riding on Mac's back because he could no longer fly on his own. After flying for a while, they found a place to rest. But as soon as they landed, Mac angrily scolded Dex for disobeying his orders and putting himself in danger. Mac berated Dex, saying, "I told you not to get involved. Why didn't you listen? What would you have done if the chef had taken you away?" Dex tried to explain that he was only trying to help, but the embarrassment of being scolded in front of everyone made him upset, so he went off to sit by himself. That night, the chef, determined not to give up, returned in a helicopter to track down the ducks. While Dex was sitting alone, Gwen came over to comfort him, and they started talking. Suddenly, the chef's spotlight illuminated the area, revealing the ducks' location. Dex and Gwen ran back to warn their parents, but Mac told them to stay hidden or they would be captured too. Dex managed to hide Gwen, but he couldn't save his parents or the other ducks. The chef captured them all, loaded them onto his plane, and locked them up. Now, Mac and Pam, who had been trying to escape from the chef from the beginning, found themselves caught in his clutches along with the rest of the family. Gwen was crying, "Where are my parents? I need to go to them." Dex, unable to fly due to his broken wings, tried to comfort her. Then, he had an idea to fix his wings. Meanwhile, in the plane, Pam had given up. She regretted ever going on this adventure, wishing they had stayed happy in their small pond. She believed they would never see their children again. But Mac insisted they couldn't give up hope, reminding her of her own words about always finding a ray of hope. They decided to make one more attempt to escape. As they tried to move forward, the chef caught them and pushed them back. They made another attempt but bumped into each other. That's when Delroy and Uncle Dan encouraged them, saying, "Keep dancing and moving forward." Mac and Pam followed their lead and managed to release all the ducks the chef had captured. Seeing this, Delroy became enraged and confronted the chef, shouting, "You kept me locked up all my life, and now I won't let you get away." Delroy attacked the chef, causing him to fall onto a button that opened the basement floor. As the chef fell, Mac and Pam's cage also began to plummet. Pam grabbed onto the chef's hair, trying to hold on, but eventually, she lost her grip. The cage started falling rapidly, and they both thought these might be their last moments, realizing they might never see their children again. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, Dex arrived. He had crafted new wings, and with great effort, he managed to open his parents' cage just in time, allowing them to escape. As Mac and Pam flew away, the rest of the ducks followed suit, breaking free from captivity. The group continued their journey and finally neared Jamaica. At first, they were worried Delroy might have led them to the wrong place. But when Mac stepped into the water, he noticed the water was shimmering, a sign they had reached the right destination. As dawn broke, the sunlight lit up the mountains of Jamaica, revealing the beautiful valleys below. It was a stunning sight, crystal-clear waterfalls, lush greenery, and vibrant colors everywhere. Delroy was reunited with his long-lost family, and the migrating ducks they met at the beginning of the journey also arrived, greeting Mac's family with warm smiles. Dex's friend came to meet him, and Gwen teased that her brother had been missing them all day. Mac, who had once been so fearful, had overcome his worries after this incredible adventure. The family and all their friends enjoyed their time in Jamaica, reveling in the beauty and peace of their surroundings. When it was finally time for summer migration, and they prepared to leave, Gwen tried to bring a pet crocodile along with her, much to everyone's amusement. Mac had also made a promise to help some wandering birds find their way home. When Pam asked where they were headed and who they would be helping, it turned out Mac had befriended some penguins and promised to take them to the North Pole. The movie hints that their next adventure might involve braving the icy wilderness, filled with even more challenges and excitement. And so, this wonderful migration movie ends with a glimpse of the family's next big adventure. How did you like the movie? Let me know your thoughts. See you in the next one. Until then, Tada!